All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're back. We're playing more Legendinthemist. And did you guys know that for the first time in our campaign, we're actually campaign that we called Songs of Law, or I called it, whatever. And we're actually playing, technically, I think in autumn. I think this because September just ticked around just a couple days ago.
Nice. Can't.
That was my opening thing.
Fast enough.
It was either going to be that prompt or I was going to say, okay, I wore a new shirt. Hang on.
So Jeff, I just double checked and searched, and autumn starts September 22nd, I'm afraid.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as it's the month of September.
That's probably some weird Canadian.
I'm just sorry. Okay. I gotta tell you.
Right.
Well, actually.
So scratch. Okay, here's the other. I tried. You're not gonna like this next one. Okay, so I wore a new shirt to school today. And I learned that it looks like one of two things. And I guess what it looks like is sort of revealing of who you are as a person. So I'm just gonna share it really fast.
Okay.
There we go. All right, this is not sponsored. Jeremy, what do you think this looks like?
I thought it was an eclipse.
Okay, eclipse. Okay. Long, what do you think it looks like?
Like Black Hole Song reminds me of the Soundgarden song.
Okay. Oh, I would. That was definitely better than what one of my students said it looks like. What about you? What do you think, Kibser?
I would have gone with eclipse as well.
Okay. Melissa? They said butthole. They said butthole.
Yeah, I figured they would. Yeah.
They said you're wearing a butthole on your shirt.
It's because arguably you have the same symbol as the community butthole icon.
I think it's like supposed to sort of be an eyeball. I'm not sure if you look at it.
Well, that's what I thought the other option was going to be was eyeball.
Okay.
That's
what I was originally going to say, but then everyone else came up with good alternatives. So I was like, okay, never mind. Actually, those are pretty good too. So anyhow, so my student said, hey, you're wearing a butthole. And then I said, it's better than having one on your face. And then they looked at me weird. And I'm like, yeah, I'm one of those investors. I say those things to you. And that was that. That was conversation. So
there the nice thing about having adult students.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
Legally.
Adult.
Technically. But anyhow. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's so in a couple of weeks we'll talk about your favorite autumnal stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, it's September.
And Black Hole Sun.
Butthole surfers, yeah.
I did make my very first pumpkin spice chai.
Well, then it is
actually.
What do you like? Actually, when you make one of those officially, it becomes autumn.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't have been able to be like a little bit of a dick to Jeff otherwise.
Technically, in my field, it is autumn because we call it the fall semester. We don't call it the summer semester because we've already had it. So we call it the fall semester. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Fall started a couple weeks ago.
Long, do you refer to the season as fall or autumn?
Definitely fall. I don't know if I ever said autumn.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not a man of class. So no. Off the rails. Never mind. I will save that for the weekend. Never mind. I have a thing I want to do for Saturday. So we'll talk about it on Saturday. Okay, anyhow, let's start. We ready to go? We're ready to get going. We're crashing on the couch of a witch and hopefully, nothing bad happens. Okay. I'm sure everything will be fine. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to enter into chat channels. Okay, there we go. Okay, so last time around, quick summary. We picked up in the Ghost Meadow, which is one of the places that you all created during session 0. You all were feeling a very palpable gloom. You actually literally felt a tag just way down on your shoulders for a little while. You looked around a bit. You found that the earth, the ground itself, had split. So does the old oak that you used to engrave questions in and things like that. And you also discovered that a fairy had been encased in sap that was spilling out the wound of the tree itself, along with the squirrel. You started to investigate a little bit. You discovered some signs of these buried stone walls that were kind of being unearthed or pushed up. And you found a lone figure that was lurching towards you at one point. And you discovered it was kind of an undead husk of a person that looked not quite human, a little bit off. And then you managed to subdue it without a whole lot of trouble. And you brought it with you when you went to visit Auntie Eldrin, the witch in the area. Everyone kind of knows her as Auntie Eldrin. There you found that there was a pit dug behind her cottage, which is on the edge of this forest, and you found more of these creatures, like the one that you brought her. Lloyd, you had stolen a special candle that you learned from her was capable of speaking with dead spirits, and she asked whether or not your uncle was actually talking, perhaps, with your deceased parents. The witch invited you all in. It was a very cluttered space. At one point, I think it was Morgan who discovered this, found some twine figures that was kind of bearing a resemblance to the party itself. You asked Eldrin many things. That was the thing I wrote in my summary. You asked her many questions. And so you learned a bunch of different things. You learned that beneath the Ghost Meadow, there is some kind of old tomb, and that the encased dead in that tomb are the ones who are answering the questions that people would pose to the tree. You learned the runes that you saw emblazoned on that rune vault that washed up on shore was an omen of the Unmaker, which is like the opposite of the Maker, like the yin and yang, the two like god deities of our setting. The Old Tongue, which is sometimes it is referred to as, was a language of a former civilization, the people known as the Toranak, who died out a long time ago. You also were able to get or learn the alphabet of these people, so you might be able to translate things later without having to seek out Eldrin or the elves. The fairy that you had discovered in the sap, she was willing to take and deliver to the elves, as she had business with them anyway, and she was actually heading there very soon to their town on deeper into the forest. And then eventually, evening turned into night. There was a storm looming, and you all were lingering longer than she probably wanted. And you imposed on her hospitality. So she offered you the use of her cellar, but she did say that you have to be gone by first light. She insisted. And that's effectively where we ended. So let's go ahead and we'll pick up there. Let me throw it to you first. Is there anything that you all would have tried or wanted to do in the night before we fast forward to morning?
I did.
I see one person shaking their head no, one person nodding their head yes. Okay, so Melissa, what is it that you wanted to do in the night?
We're doing great for our podcast audience. Morgan wanted to, before going to bed, she wanted to ask Eldrin about the apples on the wall. Made myself a note to remember. She'll just sort of point to them and just sort of be like, "Oi, what's with those?"
Okay. I think you guys are out of any of your.
That's right.
We had been playing it like you guys were building up power, and then you were essentially spending that power, like kind of out of turn, out of sequence to ask questions, get answers. So she looks at you, and I'm going to say this is after the conversation. This is after you guys have started to move to the cellar, and she's telling you, like very serious and in no uncertain terms, that you need to be gone by first light. Like she's like, you could tell that she's like,
whatever, I don't care if you all sleep or don't sleep or wait out the storm here. But before the sun is up in the morning, you must be gone. Do you understand me? Now, what is it about these apples? The apples. What do you want? The apples. There's a grove.
They're, posted on the wall in their rotten shape. That's an unusual home decor choice.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have a very extensive history of understanding the intricacies of various herbalisms and horticultural potions and tinctures and tonics? Do you have that?
Oh, is that what that is?
Just because you smell like fish shit, and you have, well, something like ale on your breath, so I'm not sure that you would understand the complexities of my chemical formulae.
I don't even own a home, so it's not really my expertise. But you just answered my question. It's about a alchemy sort of thing.
You could say that of sorts, yes. As I said, I don't think it is quite your field of expertise.
Sure not. No, I'm not the smart one. But you said by dawn? Got to be on the road by dawn?
By first light, you cannot be in here anymore. Do you understand me?
Think we got it.
And she steps like really close to you at this point.
I want you to say it to me. And I want you to mean it. You will swear you will not be in here when the sun rises to the east, yes?
Well, yes, ma'am.
I say this not to scare you, but it will not be good for you or the rest of you if you are.
How will we know when the dawn breaks?
It is an excellent question, Mr. Grover. I'll make sure you're awake.
And then she like gives a whistle, and you see like that bird, that blackbird that you've been seeing the whole time, like swoops down and lands on your shoulder, Lloyd.
They will assure you're awake. Do not worry.
That's real. Hey, has that bird got a name?
It does.
Is it too much to ask? I just want to tell him thank you, but if I'm not supposed to know the bird's name, I hate to press too much.
So she looks at the bird and she goes, "Caw-caw." And the bird like looks back at her. "Caw-caw."
He says he likes you. You may call him Oswald.
Okay. Hey, Oswald, thanks so much for waking us up in the morning. You've been real nice, too.
"Caw." And he lifts off of Lloyd's shoulder and flies over and lands on Snaggletooth's shoulder now. And he starts pecking you on the side of the cheek. Like taking like fleas and stuff out of your fur.
Oh, this is the coolest day ever.
Okay. All right.
Now, do not wake me. Do not disturb me. And be careful what you poke around in, you curious little things. Not everything in here will react well to your poking and prodding. Are very dangerous materials in here. You wouldn't want to be turned into a frog or a worm, would you now? Because if you did, old Oswald might look at you a little differently.
Appreciate you.
And so she leads you into what looks like the equivalent of a kitchen. You see like a big like island butcher block area, and there's all sorts of things that like animals. You can see animals that have been cut up here and there in various states of like dissection. And then she reaches down to the floor and she pulls open a trap door, and you see like a dark wooden ladder going down into this dark cellar. You can't see anything below.
Well,
Gotta
I'll go first then. Best we turn in early.
got one of your candles, Lloyd, for some light.
Of course. And I'll strike one on.
Strike a candle. You start climbing down, and it's nothing special. You definitely feel the earth. It's certainly not. It doesn't have a completely finished floor, but you see stacks of like crates and barrels and things that very old. You can tell that she has been like keeping things stockpiled for quite some time. There's a kind of a foul, dank smell in here, but not necessarily one that smells like anything's rotten. It's probably just like moisture, and you can see like there's like different sacks of things around here as well. So like you can kind of make yourselves at home, so to speak. Okay. And so like after you all climb down, you hear a stomp as like the trap door falls back down, and then you hear as if something was dragged over top of it.
I do not think she wants us around in this area.
Did she just lock us in?
Oh, I hope there's no fire.
I wasn't concerned about it till you brought it up, and now I'm concerned about it.
Well,
Well,
it's
the
been
smoke will
raining plenty.
rise,
We should be
but,
okay.
What if a cellar floods and we're stuck in here?
Oh,
I
there is
can
a
help
storm
you out.
outside. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see here. What if the house blows away and then she can't unlock it in the morning? Tornado-like.
What if, and Morgan at first was sort of looking a little aghast at everyone, and then she says, what if the things that we put down in the pit burrow through the ground and make their way over this way?
Ooh, that'd be a nasty death.
I'm sure there's things in here that'll help us.
Well, I'm
What
not
is
going
in
to go
this room
searching
if
for
we
them.
look
I'm
around?
putting my hands in my overalls, and I'm laying down right here and closing my eyes.
Okay, so Snaggletooth, you lay down, and Oswald just kind of perches up next to you as you lay down. And then Kick, were you gonna like peek, kind of look around a bit? Want to see what's
Just
down
to
here?
see what's here, yeah.
Okay, like at first glance, just kind of looking around with unless you're putting like a lot of effort into it, you can tell that most of it looks to be the types of things that she might have collected from the town of all places. Like you can see there's lots of different grains and things like that. There's definitely different variations of like pellets and wheat and stuff. All of it seems to be stuff that she's just stockpiled here. I will say, like, one thing that is kind of curious is that some of it looks quite old. Like some of the crates and the barrels look like they haven't been like replenished by carpenters, and like they're tarnished and such, as if like she's had it for a very long time and apparently has never used it.
Well, seems a bit of a waste in here, but well, it's her abode. And Keck will go and find an empty cot to lie, or a comfortable pile of grain bags to lie down, because she is exhausted.
Okay.
Be good to sleep. Lloyd, you slept well last night when I was banging, but I didn't sleep a wink.
I think you're mistaken. I'm going to grab a sack over here.
Okay. So Lloyd goes into the corner and grabs his sack. Kick lays down to try to take a nap, try to get her exhaustion back. Morgan, are you up to anything?
So if Lloyd isn't using the candle anymore, Morgan would kind of borrow the candle that Lloyd had lit when we came
Like
down
I
here.
didn't make you all hip lanterns.
Mm-hmm. It was a whole thing. Yeah, she was banging those out all night.
Yeah.
So Morgan will go to grab the candle and then fumble on her
Thank you.
belt and remember that she has the. And
Okay.
so she's going to pull out her journal, as she does at night, and writes a note to Aiden about the events of the day. And so she has a lot to write. Some days her note is just sort of like, "Oi, not many fish today," and that's about the extent of the note. But this is kind of a longer note with kind of all of the things that have happened today. And so she does as she does at night.
All right. So if that's the case, all of you get some sleep. You hear like muffled and distant thunder. You hear the sounds of it. You hear the sounds of rain. You are beneath the earth, so all of it's muted, but you can definitely tell there's a significant storm outside. You hear rattling above as and occasionally maybe one or two things fall from one of the shelves in the kitchen above or somewhere else in the cottage, and you just hear the cracking of clay on the ground maybe above you. Occasionally you see little sprinkles of dirt or dust sift down through the floorboards. You every now and then hear her mumbling words, almost as if she's like talking to somebody, but you never quite hear a voice saying anything back to her. But otherwise, the night passes without you all being attacked or eaten or anything like that. And at a certain point in the morning, you do hear Oswald caw. Now, before we reopen the scene, let's revisit a couple tags. So I'm going to say, Morgan, your poor night's sleep, you can go ahead and get rid of that.
Nice.
Kick, you can get rid of exhaustion. I think those two things can go away. I would say that bruised and battered, those are going to require some kind of test to do that. But we're not going to do like a full camp. But if anybody wanted, I know Snaggletooth, you still have a bruised shoulder. Kick,
Mm-hmm.
you've got battered a bit. Those would require an actual test, I think, to get rid of. I would require you to either sort of make a test to do something like that, to patch it up or whatever. But anything that was basically sleeping or like just being tired, you can get rid of. Okay. All right. So you wake up, you feel a little bit better, and then Oswald, and it's like poking at you, Snaggletooth. to wake you up, and then flitters up, starts doing the same thing to each one of you, like goes around and makes sure each of you is getting like pecked a bit just to make sure you wake up. And morning has come.
All right.
What
And
do you all do?
Kick just like stands up vertically. Time to get going then.
Okay, and your head nearly hits the
Just
ceiling.
conk your head.
Not quite. Almost. It's like, oh, geez, that was close.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Smaller than I thought.
Okay. Okay, so when you go over to the ladder to climb back up, you push the trap door open, and it does open. It looks as though she had removed something, removed whatever it was that was keeping it closed. The trap door flies open without an issue. It's very dark above, as if the sun is not quite up yet. It's very quiet outside, both in her kitchen, in her cottage. You don't really hear anything at all. It's just extraordinarily silent. And as you climb up, you look around, and you would notice, Kick, immediately that there's many things missing from the kitchen that you saw last night when you climbed down here. Things are just not here. There's still stuff here, but there's a lot of things that appear to be missing. Are any of you interested in doing anything as you climb up into the cottage early in the morning, pre-dawn?
Kick looks at Morgan.
Morgan wants to check out those action figures, see if they've changed at all.
Okay. So you go back towards the shelf, which is a little bit more in like the main room as you come in from the front door. You notice as you're moving, again, like there's missing things. Like there's stuff missing from the walls, a couple things missing from the shelves. Like there's still a lot of stuff here. This is definitely like a hoarder's den, but there's a significant amount of things that appear to be missing. When you go and you check out, looking for those little twig dolls, they are still in fact there. So they are there, absolutely.
And she'll just kind of go over, well, we are little versions of ourselves. They are still appear to be intact, so perhaps it's good sign. She really did a number with packing her stuff up for this trip she's taking out to see the elves.
Aye, I imagine it's big business, a funeral for a fairy.
Quite a bit of things that have gone. She's packed all of them up, we think.
Maybe she knows things that they like, but they don't have there. No.
See? If I look around, do I have any kind of recollection of like what had been here and what seems to be gone? Like, is that something I can try to remember?
We could do a test of some kind. We'll just do like a quick outcome here. Just give me put together something that you think might represent like your observance, your perception, your memory, maybe anything like that. Any tags that you think might be.
She's looking around, scratching her head a little bit, and she kind of look over in Lloyd's direction and be like, "Oh, you remember a bit of what was around here that's not here at the moment?"
Yeah, of course. I remember this box was here. This glass bottle was here. It's not here anymore. I remember everything.
I'm wondering if I can get an assist from Lloyd on this.
I'm just going to tell you. Long. Would you say Lloyd is helping Morgan kind of poke around? Are you being nosy?
Yeah, I've got that.
You, by the way, have heard or seen no sign of Auntie Eldrin, by the way, since you've climbed out. It's not a big cottage, and like you would probably hear her. You don't hear her at all. You don't see her at all. None whatsoever.
Yeah, I would help Morgan here. She's curious.
Okay. All right, Morgan, go ahead and give it a roll. Get your assisting tag from Lloyd here. It's the two of you start poking around.
All right, that's an 11.
Wow. Okay.
I rolled a 6 and a 4.
Okay. All right. You would notice that there are 3 tomes, or books of some kind that you remember seeing. They weren't, when I say tomes, don't think of them as like library books. Like they're definitely homemade, homebound, that were in eye line of where you were sitting at that table. and they are missing. You would notice that there was like a scroll case on one shelf that seems to be missing that had kind of like a leather strap that seems to be missing as well. And you also noticed that as you're looking here and there was like a pack, like a large like a pack like someone would actually put on their back for hiking. That also seems to be missing. 11 is so good. Other things I would say. One thing you notice that's out of place, I'll say, is that you can see sprawled out on the table, almost like it's at first it almost you kind of confuse it for a tablecloth, but when you look at it again, you realize it's not. It's just this unfurled bit of cloth that you realize is a map, and it's there, kind of covering the table. That was not at all what you saw yesterday, because the table itself, you've had the wood planks and stuff. It wasn't covered, but now that you see it, that definitely seems to be out of place. So I think all those things would probably be stuff that the two of you could notice.
Lloyd, you've got a good eye. Kick and Snaggletooth, there's a map over here that you seem to take things you might expect. A big bag has gone missing, and a big scroll case, and some big old books she's, I guess, sharing with elves. But there's a map over here if you want to take a look at it.
I mean, no disrespect, Morgan, but I don't plan on being here when the light comes up and getting cursed forever by any rather scary witch, honestly. It's unnatural. You're also muted,
Snaggle,
Jeremy.
I think you're too
Sorry,
far away.
I had some phlegm in my throat.
I
don't know how good that map is. We gotta be way more than that far away from there.
I think it's just a directional kind of a thing. You figure out what's towards the mountain and towards the water.
All right. But I'm kind of in the same idea as Keek there. Hey, Oswald, if you wouldn't mind telling Miss Eldrin we said thank you so much, and I hope you keep an eye out for her. And if you ever want to fly by the farm, there's lots of worms, maybe some berries. I'm not sure what your preference is, but you're welcome.
Just the crow, Oswald, looks at you. Like you can see its eyes just looking around, and it just says, "Oh."
I like him.
In response.
Aye, well, you also fell in love with a dead giant fish, so...
I didn't fall in love with it. It was got magical runes and hummed in my brain. I was worried it might still be alive.
Aye, well...
I'm not saying I'm against. And I don't know what you're trying to get me to say.
I don't know what you're trying to say, or think I'm trying to get you to say.
Why don't you just go outside if you're so concerned? But I want to take a peek at the map.
Go for it. I'm not getting cursed.
Kick, you step outside. Morgan, you go to the map. Where would I say that Lloyd and Snaggle are in this process?
Getting out.
Yep.
Snaggle goes with Kick.
Pack it up and get out. Morgan, catch up with us. Hurry up.
Okay. The three of you go outside, and you can tell it's still dark. The sun isn't up yet. One thing you would be able to tell if you've got your lanterns lit and looking around, the storm that hit last night was likely very severe. As you can see, kind of to the north, the south, and then if you move around to the back of the cottage and off to the west, you can look and you can see that there's like trees that have been uprooted, knocked over, branches every which way. Like it just, whatever came through here was significant. However, none of it appears to be within a particular radius of the cottage, as if like everything fell almost perfectly away from the cottage. Like a tree fell and veered the other way, a branch swung down and it didn't swing onto her property. Everything seems to be clear from her property. The other thing that you three would notice if you're peeking around at all, simple stuff, is that the pit in the back is empty. And then Lloyd, one thing you might notice, as I know you've got curiosity and you've got like an eye for detail and stuff like that. When you are walking around, like remember how yesterday when you were walking, the ground was very soft and it almost looked like the cottage itself was kind of like sunk into it. The cottage looks shorter today. It actually, like, you guys almost have to climb up a little bit. Like, there's an incline coming out of the cottage itself, as if the cottage has sunk a little bit into the ground. And so that's what you all see. I'll come back to you in a sec as you all are moving around if you have any follow-up questions or things you want to do. Inside, Morgan, you take a peek at the map. And what you notice, do you have any kind of like navigational skills or map skills or anything like that?
Not really. Like, I'm a fisherwoman, I'm a coastal dweller, so like I've got a little bit of that, as it may or may not relate.
All right, you would notice then you would probably be familiar then with the coastline, right, to the east, and like the fjord that leads into Isfig, maybe even the lake itself as well to the west, and you kind of recognize maybe familiar landmarks and such. And then there's a couple places that are marked off, and you definitely notice like the broken like island chain stuff where Gravel Bay is. Like, you can kind of tell, like, okay, that looks familiar. And then you see what might be like the lake that connects to the western side of Isfig. And then you see maybe northwest of Isfig, you can see where there's like these like little hinges have been drawn that you would probably associate with the old henge. Like, you would be familiar with it. All of you are familiar with that. And then like there's other stuff that's marked. It becomes pretty clear to you kind of quickly that this is a map of your region. It looks very old, and there's lots of stuff marked on here that you have no idea what they are. But the things that you do recognize are the lake, the large, it's like, again, it's just west, Lake Ambra. You would notice the ancient henge, and you would notice like the coastline, the very recognizable coastline. And so you're certain, and all sorts of stuff has been marked on here.
Can Morgan try to quickly, kind of in her little journal / diary that she has, try to do like a really rough kind of like, just X marks the spot kind of a thing? Like, she knows the outline of the general area and just kind of throw some X's in her journal before, like, she doesn't want to steal the map.
Yeah. What I would say is, give me a roll just to see the quickness of it, right? Because you were told to be gone by a certain time. So let's see if you can just do this in an expedient amount of time.
And so I will utilize. So I'll the coastal dweller, I think, is probably the one that'll kind of come into play here. I'll take it because I specifically
said the coast.
The coastline.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Okay. Oh God. That's a 4.
Okay. You are struggling. Maybe drawing is not your forte, but you're doing your best. However, it becomes very clear to you very quickly that your best is really not very impressive. And you struggle to interpret your own drawing.
She was like thrown off because Snaggletooth made the comment earlier about like, it's a little further than here, between here and here. And so she's trying to she's overthinking like scale as she's trying to do this, and just.
Okay. All right. So while you're inside messing around with that, back outside, as you all are lingering, you're looking around, light's not up yet to the east. It becomes pretty clear to you that it doesn't look like she's here. Doesn't look like Eldrin's here. Are Lloyd or Snaggletooth or Kick doing anything on the outside?
I mean, I might go back to where that pit had been, because that was a lot of bodies, and you'd think you'd see a lot of footprints. I mean, I'm no tracker by any means, but
take a look with you. I didn't see it yesterday.
Because if I see a bunch of footprints heading in a direction, I don't want to go that direction.
All right. Do you guys want one of you can do a roll? Either one of you can do it, and then you can lend a tag to the other if you want. We could do it that way.
I think Lloyd's definitely
so
the more observational.
Yeah,
not sure what
that
I
makes
can
sense.
really. I mean, I don't really have anything great to toss in.
Do you have something like with helps your friends or whatever?
I can help those in need.
I would take it.
Okay.
For this, I would take it. Okay, so you'll add that in, and so give yourself a +1 to your power, Lloyd, as you look around. And I'll say no penalty for darkness because you guys have the lights out from Kick.
Okay. Am I adding my own tax to this as well?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just do
If
like
there's anything that
Lloyd
you think.
awake to make lanterns would come in handy.
It does. Like I would honestly, I would use darkness for some things.
I'll do a quick
Okay.
point out peculiarities.
Okay, I'll take it. All right. You could do curious as well. There's no reason you couldn't use curious. You're welcome to always tap into them. Well, you don't have to
Okay.
necessarily like reserve. You can always just do that.
So
the only
tapping
thing it
into
would
those
be is like
2 and then adding the 1 assist would put me at 7 barely.
okay, so
Be
7's
mixed.
a pass with some consequence. Okay, so what I'll say is like you guys are looking around because it is quite noticeable that they are not there. And there were, counting yours, there were maybe like half a dozen or so. Like they're like maybe 6 or so, something like that. And you're looking around and you recall that the sides of the pit, they were like kind of sinking into. Like every time they tried to climb up, their arms would just like sink into it and then they would fall back down. There was like no way for them to climb up. And at one point, Lloyd, I'm going to say like you're looking around and something from your pack kind of falls. And we don't have to necessarily identify exactly what it is, but we'll say like something, you lose something and it falls down onto the slope of this pit and you see it sinks down into it. So just give yourself like the tag, like lost resources or something like that. Okay, so just, and that'll be your consequences. Something fell out of your belongings down the slope and then literally got scooped up, almost like like it's quicksand. However, you do notice clear tracks. Snaggletooth's not wrong. There's very clear tracks, and you see they're all heading in the same direction, and then is westward into the woods. And strange enough, it almost looks single file.
You're right, Snaggle. A lot of the prints are headed to the woods.
I'm real curious about what's going on when she goes meet them elves, but I'm also real glad I'm not there to see what's going on. But I guess I'm glad we didn't, bring that thing in case there was some good that can be done for those lost souls. Maybe they're going to get some rights too.
You think those
I hope.
could be coming up on Isvig as well? We've got a graveyard there, and an earthquake happened.
What?
You think they're crawling around the village?
I wish you wouldn't say those things.
I think we got to get Morgan out of there. The house is sinking. It's a bit shorter.
Hey, Morgan! Lights are coming. Your toes are going to get turned into radishes. Your nose hair is turned into worms.
You just had to. You just tell me you want me to hurry. I'm coming. I'm just one more little X, and then she finishes looking, and then she kind of pulls it away to look at it, and then she just is sort of like turning her head, like, and she kind of throws it in her bag and comes out. So, where are we off to then?
Not that way.
Well, how come?
Oh, that's where all them creep things went a-walking. Fortunately, we're heading that way. Of course, Lloyd had to go and remind us we might have some more near our homes.
Are we going back home to inform them what we've learned, what we've seen?
Maybe.
It's what we came out here for. We got to tell the mayor about what we've learned. It might be a warning for the village.
If the village of Tar Hollow had a thump, but they weren't missing a body, they might be worth a warning, or else bad things might happen to them as well. Just as if we want to make an extra trip, which will be another while, but it might be the good thing to do.
Well, that's a real good point. I mean, we got real lucky we spotted that one when we did, but yeah, that's a good point.
But we do also want to warn our mayor and the rest of the villagers as soon as we can as well, because if these are wandering creatures, they're just as vulnerable and no information either. Kick is also in the middle of her morning workout routine while she's saying this, so she's like grabbing the top of the roof and just like, even though it's sinking, she'll curl the bottom of her legs up and like just stretching here and there.
Okay. You do notice that it's getting like every now and then, like you like after a few, your knees start to hit the surface as it's very clear that at this point the cottage is sinking.
This is not gonna. Okay, I think first light's coming a bit quicker. All right, I can't work out properly here. I sunk a whole house, it seems.
It's around this time that off to the east you can see across the meadow, and then over towards like the north-south mountains that kind of separate Gravel Bay from the rest of this area. You can see coming up over those short mountains, you can see the sun comes up. This streak of light cuts through the meadow, past the oak, into the area around Auntie Eldred's cottage, hits the cottage itself, which you see immediately gets sucked up into the ground. Like the last 5 feet just finish in an instant, and you just kind of go tumbling off to the side. And you can see the entire cottage has been completely and utterly scooped up and swallowed up by the ground itself. There's still like a stump off to the side with like an axe in it and some other things like stacked up here and there, but the cottage itself is underneath the earth.
Is the pit still there?
The pit is still there, yeah.
Okay.
Kick, are you all right?
Well, remind me not to use a witch's house for exercise. Wasn't that great either. It kept shrinking too far and my legs couldn't get enough elevation on it. Right.
Didn't tell us that was going to happen. That's a good thing. And Morgan kind of looks in the direction of the bird on Snaggletooth's shoulder. It's a good thing, or we did get woken up on time, or else we'd have been all the way into there.
And some of the food looked pretty old, so who knows how long. Oh, air supply. That's what we forgot, Snaggletooth, as a possible death condition. It could have been suffocation.
But it didn't.
Nah. Right, well...
So we have to choose between two right things to do.
Question for Jeff. I presume we've walked the distance between Yswig, our home village, and Tar Hollow before. We're kind of in the middle.
More than likely.
But do we have a sense of...
Yeah, more than likely one or two of you have been down there before. It's not like you guys would have never been to another village in the region.
Yeah, I imagine myself as a wandering blacksmith. So
sure.
I would imagine I've done it. How long about would it take us normally to walk from one village to the other?
Okay, so it would probably be about a half a day's journey from Ysvig to the Ghost Meadow, which is like kind of halfway between where Ysvig and Tor Hollow are, but it's also like veering off to the west a bit. If you just took a straight shot from one village to the next, it's maybe like 3/4 of a day. So you could kind of get there in one day before nightfall. If you left in the morning, you would get there before nightfall.
Well, luckily it's before nightfall. So we probably have a quick quarter to half day to get to Tor Hollow, and then we could hit Ysvig by evening, maybe? If we rushed it.
We could certainly try. Lloyd, I know your uncle
You're still
was
muted,
injured.
Jeremy.
Are you okay, Lloyd, to not check on your uncle until possibly nightfall tonight?
Oh, he was fine. The healer healed him quite well. He was sleeping like a baby.
I don't think he'll be upset about your candle.
Oh, yes, he might figure that out. Might not want to see him for a bit.
A little bit of extra time to cool his heels then.
Give him some space. Sounds like we want to warn the good folks of Tor Hollow then.
Mostly because they have a somewhat obvious possible problem with the thump, thump, thump of their mines.
Yeah.
And I think they might have had some of the figures that maybe we know a little bit about, and we can help them see what they meant, I think.
Aye. Well, also, since this pit's still here, we can just tell them to bring any bodies they find to it to throw in.
Do we want to invite anyone to come on
We
to
tell them
Eldrin's
it wasn't us
land?
who told them to find it. We swear them to secrecy first.
I see. Well, we should get a move on if we want to hit both of these places before nightfall.
Aye.
Okay. So we'll say you all start heading east, pass through the Ghost Meadow a bit, heading back. Once more, as you travel through the Ghost Meadow, like you can feel again that palpable sense of you don't need to put the tag on, you'll travel through it fast enough, but all of you can feel like this sense of gloom and whatever might go through your mind, whatever that takes, maybe it's up to you all to think about that, but like Morgan, maybe it's thoughts of Aiden or something like that, or Lloyd, of your parents, or whatever it might be. But all of this kind of weighs down on you. And then truly within 10 feet of leaving the meadow, all of that just kind of seems to wash away once more. You eventually, and the whole, I should also note that the whole travel, like you've seen, you've just seen signs of storm. And so the meadow itself, the tall grass has been torn asunder. You can see a lot of the dirt that had been ruptured has been thrown and tossed here and there. More bits and pieces of the large oak have been taken free. Nothing as large as you saw before, but you can definitely tell branches and chunks of leaves have been wrenched free. And the ground itself is extraordinarily wet and soggy as you pass by. And for the first 20 or 30 yards when you head east from the cottage itself, you're like stepping over what looks like branches and boughs of like the trees and such that had not fallen into her property. And within about an hour, you make it back towards that canyon where like the river runs north-south, connecting the mountains to the south to the lake to the north. But you notice, however, that the bridge is out. You move up to it. You don't notice anyone waiting on the other side. But what you come up, you remember it was a rope bridge. It was sturdy enough, though. It was not the type of thing that you would want to move a cart across. But everyone, walking across it felt sturdy. And you can look as you stand off to the edge that on the far side, on the other side of this small canyon, you can see the bits of it are just dangling down from the eastern side of the canyon itself. And you appear to be kind of stuck, or at least stranded on the western edge for the time being. What all would you want to do with that?
Well, the storm's taking out the bridge.
I am. This is a rope bridge, so the planks have fallen down, or was it one where it kind of had the crisscross pattern?
It was definitely planks. It
Okay.
looks like your side, the western side, it came unearthed from where the posts stick into the western top of the of this little kind of cliff face, sort of.
Mhm.
It's not very. It's maybe like 100 feet or so tall. But you see, they've been kind of wrenched free, and it sort of fell back down and swang all the way to the eastern side. You can actually see the bridge dangling vertically. A couple planks are missing, but you can see dangling vertically along the eastern cliff face.
Okay, and if we follow along this river, is there another bridge, or?
You don't know necessarily. I don't think you would know that there's another bridge, but you would know two things. There's a couple things you could potentially do. You would know if you head south far enough, eventually that river dips into the mountains, and if you go up the hills, you could probably find your way over. It does mean doing a little bit of hiking up into the hills, but you could eventually work your way around. I don't know that any of you would be overly familiar with that territory, but you could certainly do it. To the north, if you just took this north, eventually you would reach the southern shore of Lake Umbra, which you can kind of probably find a switchback or something like that. And that's the other thing. If you sort of looked closely up and down the cliff face itself, you might find a more narrow spot or a different way across. But in terms of known bridges, this was the only one.
Hey, Morgan, I got a couple of stupid questions. Do you have your fishing gear on you? And what's the furthest you can accurately cast?
Well, I just never... The only stupid question is the one you don't ask, my friend.
Well, I ask plenty of stupid questions. I'm going to admit to that.
I've got my rope, and just generally I have my like fisherwoman tag, so like I definitely have rope on me.
Well, I'm resourceful, and I'm thinking maybe we get a couple branches that are kind of hooked. You know, where you got the ones where they kind of gnarl down around, kind of like a hook. We fashion those at the end ones, so you've got kind of like a crude, fishing line, right? And you go fishing for the other side of that bridge.
I can start work on repairing this side so that there's some areas for us to stick the pikes in and make it secure again. If you can get it over here.
Well, I think for the good of us and any other travelers, I mean, if there's anyone being chased by any of those creatures, they would surely need the bridge to possibly find their way to safety. So I suppose it's a good thing for us to try to see what we can do.
This does put a little bit of an issue on the timing of our plans for today, which means, do we still go to Tor Hollow after this, since Yisvig is going to be out of the picture if we can't? It's one or the other now. This is going to take too much time.
Or we just try to find our way down. It's not mine necessarily, but Kik, you might be able to look down and find a path down that we just leave this for another day and find a way down, and we can always swim across perhaps at a more narrow point.
Well, if you have rope, is it long rope? Because if I take an end, I could tie it to the other side of the bridge if I do find a way across. I'm a decent mountaineer.
Let's give it a shot, I suppose.
All right. Well, we'll do our best.
So who wants the spotlight here? Is this Kik taking the spotlight, trying to find a way down, or is this Morgan taking the spotlight and trying to cast a line to the other side of the canyon? Which one of these is happening?
Well, I suppose if I can't make it with my rope, there's no point in you swimming.
Aye.
I will give it a whirl. I've got my fisherwoman and my stores of rope. And
I'll try and donate resourceful if it's possible.
I think that's fair, and I think it's safe to say that maybe you, like, if you already said it, like taking some of the branches, you could double back a little bit and find like some branches and trees back from the meadow that maybe came off the oak or whatever after the storm, and so that could potentially help. So we don't have to. I'm not going to say pre-roll it. I think that can just happen, and so yeah, you can donate resourceful as a result of that.
So then I've got a +3 on this. I've got a 11.
Okay.
Well,
so Morgan, you managed. So you go ahead and describe what it looks like as you manage to throw. Maybe it takes. I'm not sure if you want to say it takes one shot or if it takes 2 or 3. Like, what do you think it looks like as you actually cast the line all the way across the canyon?
She is quite confident in her skills, so I'm gonna say it. She did it on the first try. So she's gonna she and Snaggle have definitely gotten all of this together, and being the competitive bunch we are, and she's like, you've done a fine job getting all of this tied up. How much you want to bet me I'm gonna get this on the first try?
Well, I ain't gonna bet against you. Shoot, I'm gonna be ready to be telling the story back in town about how you're the only person who ever caught a bridge.
Aye, but if you let him tell the story first, then you're going to lose the free drinks from it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Aye. And so she's just going to do kind of the good form for, kind of like casting a line, essentially.
Okay. And you're able to pull the other side back up. And maybe it's you backing up a ways, and eventually somebody else, whether it's Snaggle or Kik or Lloyd, grabs what they can, and you're able to pull the bridge itself back up. Now, as Kick has already alluded to, like just because you have it doesn't mean it's like it's fixed firmly that you're confident in moving across it. So Kick, I'll toss it to you then as the spotlight. Do you want to try to fix this in a way that makes you confident to cross?
So I assume as a blacksmith, I probably have bits of metal just kind of on me in my pockets. And I'm the kind of person that would see a bit of metal. I'm like, this will be useful someday.
Okay. I'm okay with that. Sure, why not?
All right, Lloyd, give me a hand with this. You've got some skills with creating things with your hands, so let's get to work.
I'll help you in any way.
So obviously, I'm
skills to work.
Yeah,
I can burn
how sturdy wax is. It just makes 2 wax posts, puts them down. That's
but I don't feel like I have my forge with me because I left that back there, but I do have repair metalwork, blacksmithing. Obviously, I can smash it loudly, so smash like pikes into the ground.
Okay.
Strong as an ox, probably as well, if we're all right with that.
I'm okay with that. I would call on. You can. I mean, you're welcome to say no to this. I think unintentional breakage could come into play here as one of your weaknesses. Because if you screw it up. If you fail, you screw it up. I think it is possible you just kind of snap the bridge entirely. Right?
That's fair. That is absolutely fair.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Give it a rip. See how it goes.
Good. Yes.
And then Lloyd was donating something. I think you said, right?
Yeah, I'm a young apprentice. I'm helping.
Okay, the young apprentice. So you're just good at helping and handing tools. Like you do it with your. Okay, so you're just kind of there as the assistant.
So without Lloyd, I got a 10. With Lloyd, I presume I get an 11.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Nice.
Quick outcome would have been fine here on this one. I'll say between both of you rolling over 10 on each one of these, just perfect successes. This happens relatively quickly, with maybe an hour of time at most. We're between kind of waiting for Snaggletooth to fetch some of the things that you would need, Morgan to toss it, and then kind of pulling this over, and then the process of repairing some things here and there. And I'll say that you managed to repair the bridge to the point where you feel like you can cross it. You probably aren't immensely confident that it's going to sustain itself in another storm like this. But for the 4 of you, since you're not like pulling any extra weight or anything like that, you're pretty confident of it. Obviously, some planks are probably missing, so you have to be a little bit more careful going across it. So it's not something you may want to run across, but you think you can cross.
All right, the work's done. It's pretty good. We might want to put a warning sign up, but I don't think. Maybe we just spread the word and let the next person to do that, because we're burning daylight now. And Kick will just start going across.
Okay.
And Morgan waits till Kick gets like almost over, because I think Kick is the largest of us.
Yeah.
So
let her cross all by herself.
Yeah.
All right. You did such a good job. Both of you did that. I'm not going to be mean, and I'm going to say all of you make it across safely. It is a little maybe unnerving every now and then, as it does feel a little ricketier than you remember it. You can certainly see that with some of the missing planks that you have to do these long steps and maybe a hop across, that is a little bit more nervous than you probably want when crossing this thing. And then it also reminds you of just how high up you are. There is water below, but it is a kind of a rocky mountain stream, so it's probably wouldn't have broken your fall. Would have broken your face, more than likely. But you make it across to the eastern side. And again, everything's wet, and it certainly is like the day after a heavy storm and muggy and gross out. But you're across. And so are you guys turning southward then to Tor Hollow, or are you turning northward back to Isvik? This is the choice.
How much time did we spend doing this?
I would say between travel from the cottage, finding a couple, branches and things, and then just the basic repair, maybe 2 hours. So it's still early morning. I don't think I would say it's late morning yet. Maybe mid-morning, I would call it.
You can still head to Tor Hollow.
All right. It's more of a risk now, but... Well, double pace, knees up. It's you guys all skipped your morning exercise anyway. I think it's about time we start working on that. Morgan, you ready to do, if you put your hands flat and then you try to get your knees up at the same time while we run, you get some good exercise and I feel a nice burn.
And you see Morgan has gone into her bag and she just has like a flask that she's just like kind of like cheersing with Snaggletooth. Do you see what we just did?
Yeah, that was amazing. But
We just put the bridge back up.
Item every water. We're in for a morning workout now.
Should you want to talk workout? Let me find somebody who's 20 feet tall and have you keep up with them. I'm moving quadruple time, I hear you.
It's fair. You do only come up to my knee.
So you all start huffing it south.
We do.
Southward. And it's not like a difficult trek. You start having to go up elevation, effectively, is what's happening. Like you're feeling yourselves moving up the mountain a bit. And the peaks to the south are quite tall, but there is somewhere up there like a path that goes out towards like the trading post. It kind of weaves through the mountainside. It's a very treacherous route, but it is up there somewhere. Eventually, like you do find the semblance of the path, right? Like there's no road that connects Tor Hollow to Isvig, but there's definitely a path in places. And you start to see a more well like trodden path. I'm gonna give this to Lloyd. Lloyd, as you guys are traveling, at a certain point, you notice something. We've defaulted you to being the perceptive one since our tracker is not around, so you're probably the next in line for that. You notice something off to the east, maybe up the slope away. There is like more rocky, kind of chalky looking stone off to the east, and maybe up about 50 feet or so. It's not like impassable, but it's definitely terrain that would require a little bit of movement. But you see what looks like a dozen like carrion birds just sort of circling around. You can see them just sort of moving about in a circle, these large birds. And as you spot it and you look up at it, you hear Oswald the Crow, who has been perched atop Snaggletooth. And Snaggletooth, I've given you the tag. He's with you for now. And he starts to caw as you look up towards it, Lloyd. What do you want to do, Lloyd?
Hold up. There's some birds circling. Something peculiar up here. I want to check it out.
Okay.
Would I
lead the way then.
recognize that as normal behavior for birds in the mountains?
Yeah, more than likely. I think all of you would know this. You're all rustic people. More than likely, there's something dead up there. And it's like they're all just sort of circling. What it is, you're not sure of, but something's dead up there.
All right. Well, let's remember that that oxen got attacked by some big cat that got scared off by something else worse. And go with caution.
Okay.
Are we going to check it out and see what it is, or keep going?
Peek on it. Take a peek.
Okay. Be curious.
So you all begin to kind of clamber up. This isn't straight up mountain climbing. This is just a little bit more treacherous. You're kind of watching where you put your step and stuff like that. So I don't think any rolls are necessary just yet. But eventually you do find what looks like a small precipice just sort of sticking out a little bit from one of the slopes itself. And that's where you can see it. As you start to come up the slope, you look over and you see there's a carcass there. And as you get closer, Lloyd, I'll say again, you're the ones probably with the best eyes. It is not the muskox. It is not a muskox because you would be able to tell the massive, like, hulking figure of that thing. This thing is very big, but the shape is definitely different. And you realize what you see is a very long serpent of some kind. It's got to be maybe 20 to 30 feet long, something like that. The coloring matches or blends a bit with some of the chalky, like gray browns of the stone. But you can tell that there's a significant amount of blood, and the blood is still relatively red. It's kind of browned a bit here and there, as it does appear to be like a dead snake, a large, very large snake.
Has anyone seen anything like this? Snake, but it's larger than I've ever seen.
It reminds me of the giant fish that we saw. Lloyd, do you happen to spot eyes on any of the old scripts?
We'll have to get a bit closer.
Okay, so you get closer, Lloyd. You step a couple. Oh, I'm sorry. I presume that. Are you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go closer.
Okay. You take a couple steps closer, and you notice something kind of peculiar about it. Like its mouth is kind of lulled off to the side, and you can see its like forked tongue is out. None of it's moving. It's very clearly dead. There's no mistaking this. You can see its eyes are open, but they're crooked in some way. They look as though that suffered some kind of like the head is intact, but like it looks as though the body has suffered significant trauma. And you can see it's sort of unfurled and stretched almost fully out. It's not coiled. It's unfurled. It's a little snaking, it's not like a perfect line or anything like that. But it's definitely unfurled almost the entirety of it. And it's somewhere between 20 and 30 feet from head to the far tail. And you notice that there is like all the way down from just the back of the head, all the way down to the tip of the tail, there is this fissure right through the back, as if like the spine of this thing, if it had such a spine, had been like ruptured open. And you just see this long cavernous streak, this 25-foot cut from the back of its head all the way down to its tail, as if it's been pulled open, almost like open heart surgery, except on the back of this snake all the way through. And that's where you see all sorts of guts and blood spilling out from either side. I'm going to say, Lloyd, go ahead and take Sickened 1, as this is a very disgusting looking thing, and you had to get kind of close.
That was horrible. This is grotesque.
What's the matter?
Okay.
So yesterday it was a muskox that was beset upon by a larger cat-like creature, and today it's a very, very large snake that's been sliced head to toe.
Can we tell if it's was blade or by claw that did this?
I would want to test for that. So if you're interested in taking a closer inspection, and I will say anyone who wants to get close to it and kind of poke around, I would ask you to take the Sickened 1. It is pretty hideous what you're seeing. You're just seeing like snake guts, as if it's like kind of poured and unfolded out of it. And it's a huge thing. Like think like a giant anaconda. That's essentially what this is.
Yeah.
So it's not some very thin snake. It's a huge, thick snake. And that's what you're looking at. But I would want to test.
Sure.
So what do you think?
I probably you two stay here for a moment. I don't like the looks of this. And I will go up. If this is, if it's metal, it would be blacksmithing. If it's claw, I'd be looking at my Highlander stuff, like mountaineering and Highlander.
I would take the mountaineering and Highlander stuff because you might have seen a snake like this in the mountains before,
Cool.
But I wouldn't take the blacksmithing stuff in this case.
Not a problem. All right. So just Lloyd, do you want to lend a hand? Or are you good? Might not have. I don't know if you have any skills for this, but
I'm already here if you need something.
you already sickened like me, so.
I think we're
and
all
anyone
sickened.
and Morgan or Snaggletooth
Yeah.
can do whatever you want to in this case. Like you can help if you like. You
Eldrin
don't have
said
to,
I
but you
smelled
can.
bad, but this is quite another thing entirely.
All right. I'll just roll it straight for now.
I can't think of anything to really donate.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. I'm just fishing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can help
Hey.
with that.
Look at you.
Melissa, do you want to tell
All
Jeff
right.
the thing that I realized and sent you in chat?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Barnacle?
Yeah, that I still have the large barnacle
And
in
you
my
forgot to
bag,
show it to
that
Auntie
I forgot to
Eldrin?
show it to Auntie Eldrin.
That's a shame. I had a whole section in my notes ready to tell.
Oh,
you about that,
no.
but whatever.
Whoopsies.
So I
next time
got
you
an
talk to her.
8, which is a mixed hit with 2 power.
Yeah. So this is just a quick outcome, so we're not going to worry about counting, like spending power at the end.
Okay.
So it's really just kind of a, can you tell or not tell? Okay. What I will say with a success is that you very much, as you get closer and you start like poking and looking, you think something came out. Like it looks like something ruptured up out
no.
of the snake. And the realization of that and getting close enough is enough, I would say, to give you another sickened, which will move you up to sickened 2, as maybe you vomit a little bit, as you see like little specks and strange things popping out, and that smell is absolutely hideous.
So I've got a filled box for 1 and 2 now, right?
Right. So
Okay,
yeah,
good.
you would
I just
basically you
wanted to
get sickened 1, and so that since you've already taken sickened 1, you would also fill the box. For 2.
Okay, cool. This is gruesome. Like I think something came out of here. It birthed it the wrong way, and not in a way that's this is very unnatural. I know I keep saying that, but this is all these couple of days. It's just been an unnatural amount of occurrences, and this is just another one. I don't like it.
You're saying it was not cut from the outside, but from
the inside. Yeah, something burst it. So like if it was something in the stomach and it just like burst out, I imagine this was the weak point of the snake, since the I guess the rib cage would have kept it in on the other side. Don't look. You're just, it's really not good.
Oh, no. I was looking away from that. I was just curious if something came outside of it, then that something might still be moving around. So I would like to look around and see if I see any blood or tracks or something.
Morgan, if you would like to make some kind of tracking or perception like test to see if you notice anything in the area, you can certainly piece that together. I would say Lloyd or Snaggletooth, you're welcome to assist in this. We'll say Kick was too busy doing her assessment, and now she's probably sickened.
I am going to go vomit over here in a corner for a bit.
I don't have a whole lot to help.
You go over the side of the precipice. Someone's like, what are you doing? Calling up from
I'm sorry. I just need it for a moment. Just deal.
Yeah, I can help out here with learning the environment. Curious.
Okay.
Either of those.
2.
All right, so he'll loan a tag to you.
It's a 9.
Okay, 9. Okay, so again, just quick outcomes, totally fine for this. What you would notice is there is no signs of anything like slithering away. Like you don't see any clear signs of like drag marks in the immediate area around the carcass. There's definitely pools and like kind of slippery slashes of blood here and there and guts and things, but you don't see it like dragging away. So like think about if like a cart, for instance, like wheeled through mud or wheeled through some kind of liquid, you would expect to see like drag marks for a while until it kind of you don't see that. You do notice like occasional like droppings here and there, like even further away from the precipice, like up against like the next section of the mountain that takes it up even further. You see like little droppings here and there, but you don't notice anything that would suggest it was dragged away. And then for the consequence, I'll say it's just a matter of like, maybe it's just time. I'll just say time passed a little bit longer than you intended to, because you kind of get obsessed with looking around and trying to find this. Just took you a little bit longer to find some of these things. So maybe because I know you guys are worried about time, we'll say it takes a little longer to do this, is all it is.
Lloyd, I don't understand. Did you just get up and fly away?
It was a flying creature, yeah. That would make sense.
It's just it was a joke. I'm not we're looking for something that comes swooping down on us. I was just trying to figure out why we couldn't see a track from this thing. But well, now you've got me even more concerned. And she's like trying to look down and trying to look up at the same time. Aye. Giving me a headache.
You ain't never clawed your way out of a snake's belly, have you, Oswald?
And you see him, he's kind of looking at you, and he goes, "Ah!" But I will say this, you notice something, Snaggletooth, that he is like, he's very shifty on your shoulder. Like you can see he's like moving in a way. For the most part, the travel, he's been very calm, just kind of chill, like right on your shoulder, no issues whatsoever. But he's very shifty, and you're probably getting like an anxious vibe from him.
Hey.
And he's regularly like looking up into the sky here and there. Go ahead.
I think maybe y'all ain't wrong. This might sound silly, but Oswald keeps scanning the sky, y'all.
All right. That's my limit for today. We're going to town.
I think
None
we've
more
made
of
ourselves
this.
throw up enough.
Aye. let's get some cover. Hopefully we'll get us a little bit of roofs over our heads at this point. I think would do us some good.
And as we start moving, Morgan does have cheer them on as one of her tags. So I think she wants to like try to initiate some kind of like, sea shanty marching song kind of a thing to like try to get our spirits and pace back up again.
Do you know the song? Do you have the lyrics ready to go?
Oh, no, I was just...
Farewell in the dew, you fair Spanish ladies.
Farewell
in the dew, you ladies of Spain.
Sorry. Okay. Anyhow.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Lydia,
Spain
the
doesn't
tattooed lady.
Okay. So you guys descend. I'll say as you leave the area, those of you, like anyone who took sickened, you can essentially move it down one step. So I'll say because you spent a little bit more time, Kick, you're still sitting on sickened 1, but I'll say anybody else, you can kind of get your stomach about you. So maybe Kick, it's going to last for the rest of the day. You're just kind of grossed out. Maybe an hour later, you find yourselves right on the edge of the village that is Tor Hollow. Unlike Isvig, this one isn't sprawling. Like Isvig's kind of sprawled along the coast a bit here and there, and then it kind of loosely connects to a handful of farms, kind of like Snaggletooth to the south. This one seems a little bit more tighter and compact, and also vertical. As you see, it is sort of built into the steps of the mountain itself. And there are plenty of what looks like smoke plumes coming up here and there to suggest great deal of activity. You don't see there's no traffic coming up towards you as you approach. There are what looks like there's like one set of walls. They're not very high, but there's one set of walls that seems to block a main path in, but there's no one like guarding it. It's just there. And so as you start to push inward, you look around and you can see that it is a middle of the day. You've arrived effectively at like midday, like right around noon, so to speak, right? And you can see that there are all sorts of people milling about outside of what looks like, if you're familiar with the place, some kind of inn or tavern, a place, a gathering place. Up a little bit further into the hills, you can see the mountain itself. There's like a big opening, and you can tell that's like the entrance to one of the mines. And then there are like carts and things. There's definitely the signs of what looks like industry or business kind of still going on, as like these big like oxen are kind of pulling these big carts here and there, piles of stone that are being taken from like up top, kind of being moved down around to like a stone cutter section over that you might be familiar with, Kick. And it definitely looks like it's sort of business as usual. There is kind of like an odd vibe, I would say, going on here, as like people they're not paying attention to your arrival. There seem to be like little groups of conversation here and there, as if definitely like they're busy like with their own conversation and their own business. So yeah, you're here. What would you guys like to do now that you're here?
Would Kick be familiar with sort of, I guess, the mayor of this area, or with the head miner or whomever runs, like someone that would have a position of respect in this village?
Yeah, so I mean they're kind of one and the same. So whoever, like usually, since this is a town that again, it's a small place, probably smaller than Isvig, but it's a place that's built entirely upon the notion of like kind of mining these hills, mining these mountains. And you would know a man by the name of Aldwin Matthews, who is like the de facto like foreman, but also head of the town. And you would know that would be the person, if you wanted to speak to the leader of the town, you would know them. And again, any of you could say you've been here. It would not be out of the ordinary for any of you to ever have come here. Obviously, you can come up for your own reasons for why. But yeah, there's an older man by the name of Aldwin Matthews that would be the leader of the town, so to speak.
Well, I think Aldwin might be a good person to start with to give all the warnings we found as we're here. He's respected around, so at least we'll be able to get the word to his people. And then we can start heading back. So since we're burning light.
I'll hit the tavern and see who's over in that direction.
Oh, I think it's midday, so they'd be in the mines. Actually, Morgan, you don't need to go to the tavern.
And Morgan nods at you and continues moving her feet in the direction of the
drinking
tavern.
Aye, all right. Well,
Okay.
Snaggletooth, Lloyd, would you like to come with me up to the hut next to the mine where they all do their planning, or do you want to head to the tavern with Morgan? All right, Snaggletooth, I see ya. Off you go then.
For solidarity.
I leave no person at singles by themselves at a tavern or something like that. I don't know.
Exactly.
Aye, okay.
I'll join you.
I'll be your
Okay.
wingman any day, Morgan.
and Morgan kind of adjusts, like the last time she'd opened her flask and like passed it to Snaggletooth and kind of brought it back. She had like shaken it because it was empty, and so she just sort of like is like uncorking the flask. I can't do a walk with an empty flask now, can you?
No, wouldn't be proper.
Okay, so Snaggletooth and Morgan, I heard, are for sure going to go to the inn, or the tavern, I should say, which is a place called the Stone Lamp. Kick, Lloyd, where are the two of you headed?
To the medieval version of the foreman's hut next to the mine entrance.
Okay, yeah, so you can basically go up to the next tier and you can find like kind of the offices or whoever runs the mining
Medieval
operations here.
offices, yes.
Gotcha. Lloyd, where are you going?
I'm joining Geek up there.
Okay, so the two of you are going to head up. Will take you a little longer to get there. Morgan, Snaggletooth, without much difficulty, you very quickly find the Stone Lamp, and you can see it's named simply because, like, right outside the doors, there is like a pedestal coming up out of the ground. So much around here is stone. You can tell the foundation of like every single building in here are like blocks and carved stone here and there. Definitely, they have wooden timbers and cables and stuff kind of moving about. But everything here is a much sturdier place, kind of carved and built into the side of the mountain itself. And so when the two of you go inside, first, like, there's a handful of folks that are outside kind of chatting and talking, and like, again, no one really pays any mind to you. Like, it's not odd for somebody to come to the village out, from Isfig or from Alderan or anything like that. And so you push inside. Small place, doesn't have kind of the large, long tables that Old Morth's Tavern does back in your home village. And instead, you can see that there's these very square, blocky tables, and you can see benches and such on either side. Doesn't look like the most comfortable place in the world. But you definitely feel warmth as you come inside. It's been wet and kind of gross all day, but you step inside, you can feel this warmth overtake you. You smell the sounds of something cooking, and there's maybe about 15 or so people scattered about at various tables and things, kind of huddled together, talking. And then you can see a serving man and a woman, both of them kind of coming and going here and there as well. So I'm going to throw it over to you guys, the two of you, like, either one of you can take a lead on this, but what do you think you're doing as you come inside?
I would say Morgan would beeline it to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you make a run up to the bar. What about you, Snaggletooth?
I'll go as well, but I'll probably be looking at one of the folks that works here, maybe try and strike up some conversation.
Okay, so you see as Morgan, you go up to the bar, the man comes up, kind of, you can see he's like, "Be right, Richard, 1 second. One second. Go ahead, take a seat right there. We've got pork today. Hope you like pork." And he like kind of points over to what looks like this slate chalkboard, and you can see like written on it is kind of what's being served. And then Snaggle, you see coming out from behind this bar counter, there is a serving woman, short, squat. She looks like the equivalent of what would be a dwarf. Like she's maybe 4'8" or so, broad shoulders, and she's like carrying what looks like these two heavy trays with food on them. And she looks past you, and as you like motion, like, "One bite with you, 1 second, love, 1 second." And she moves on over and like starts laying things down in front, and people kind of call out, "Thank you, Nona, thank you so much." And then she comes back to you and she says, like, "What can I get for you, love? We don't see your kind here very often."
Beaverkin. Oh, goodness. What can I do for you?
Well, I will admit that pork does smell nice. We're just in from Misvig. Had a doozy of a day a little while back. Talked to a trader, came up ways, and he said y'all had a doozy of a day too.
Oh, sure, it's been strange doings the past few days. But you know how it is. It's getting long in the years. You know, the years getting older. Strange things are afoot. That's just life. Makes things more interesting, doesn't it?
It does.
In for Misfig, you say?
Yeah, that's
what
right.
What brings you down here?
Well, we saw some strange things, and there was a ridge that had gone out, and we fixed it the best we can, but anybody who's heading that way, we'd want to share word to be cautious of it. And, well, I got some friends going off to talk to Aldrin on something else we've seen real peculiar.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, delivering news and repairing bridges sounds like you've worked yourself up an appetite. Want a little something to eat?
I do. Is it possible to get a small side plate from my friend Oswald here? You want some pork, Oswald?
Caw. Your friend's a crow.
Yeah, he's real friendly, though. He can wake you up before first light even.
What if I don't want to get up before first light? What if I like to sleep in a bit?
Well, I don't reckon he would do it unless you asked him to. He seems to be pretty cordial.
I've never seen a crow behave so kindly before. Normally they're with a group of them, and they're all so loud and angry and poking away at crops and places they shouldn't be.
See, them's are just crows, but this is Oswald.
Caw. Well, as long as he behaves himself, I guess he could stay.
Well, hey, it's a real pleasure to meet you. Could I ask your name? I'm Snaggletooth, by the way. I'm sorry.
Snaggletooth. Nona George. Nice to meet you. Yes. Okay, so you're hungry. I'll get you just a nice plate of pork and a little bit of gristle for old Oswald here. Is that right?
Oh, yes, please. You just became his best friend, I imagine.
Coming right up. I'll be right back, love. You just wait right here. And then she kind of waddles off. We cut over. We see Morgan. We see she's at the bar. The band kind of comes up. And he's like, okay, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? What's that smell? It smells like smells like fish round here.
That's my business, eh?
Your business is fish? That's a... all right, well, okay, what can I get for you? Yeah, can I do something for you? You're selling fish, is that what it is?
No. She kind of pulls out her flask. I'm in need of a refill, eh?
Oh, sure, I can take care of you for that, no problem.
He kind of grabs it, and there's really like no options. He just turns around, there's a cask, and he just very gently kind of pulls down, and you can see a little bit of the booze just pour down into your flask. Like, okay, one sec, all right. And he hands it back over, and we haven't really talked about economy, and I don't find that very fun. So we'll say you slide over whatever it is that you have to pay for this, and everything's fine.
I do always have coins for drink in my backpack. So
you have plenty, yeah. So you're able to slide over without issue.
And he's like, so you're here selling fish, you said?
No, I'm fisherwoman by trade, but no, we had some... we ran into some folk from here yesterday, I guess it were. There have been so many weird things going on. Malis? Was that the name of the woman? Malis
and Davy. Yeah, they were headed up to Abilene, I think. Yeah. Well, you ran into them. Okay, well, yeah, they're off a bit. They'll be back if you're looking for them, they're gone for probably a week more, maybe a fortnight.
Yeah, so they had mentioned that you all up here we had a strange night in Nisvig, and you had a strange night here, and they particularly mentioned that there was some, believe they said it was knocking from inside the mine, but you did a head count and there was no one missing.
Oh, you heard about that, did you? Oh, well, yeah, that was first fall. That wasn't last night, it's not before.
Yes.
Well, it's the strangest of things. Sure, we had a celebration. No one was working. It's the best day there is of the year. No one worked. Oh, Everyone came over here, filled their bellies with all sorts of meats and bows and whatnot. And then all of a sudden we heard a rumbling. I think you could best describe it as. We thought it was just, jubilation. But apparently it was something a little bit more. We look on up. Lanterns shaking a bit. It's like the whole mountain was about to come down. And then we heard a racket coming from the mine entrance, and saw all sorts of dust and stuff coming out of it. The darn whole thing collapsed on us. Can you believe it? I'll tell you, Maker be praised, though. If it wasn't for First Fall, there would have been folks inside of it.
Well, and that's what we wanted to tell you, because we had the Earth just split in two in Isvik. They heard the same rumbling, and there just went the ground, just cracking right beneath our feet.
Oh, goodness. Anyone get hurt?
Not too bad. We were able to, again, everyone was nearby, so we could put out the fire in the tavern, and there's still some damage there. Quite a shame. And general store
gracious.
took a bit of a wobble.
Well, that sounds like quite a night. That sounds terrible. I'm glad no one doesn't sound like anyone kicked the old bucket, did they?
No. Thankfully, don't think so.
Well, that's
at least when we left. There was also a giant fish, as it were, that beached itself.
Fish.
Whales.
He's staring at your flask as you say this. He's staring at your flask as you say this. John Fish, you say? Okay, Earth. Okay, sure.
Heard it named Runval. In fact,
you found a John Fish. You gave it the name Runval. Well, that sounds quite distinguished.
That
fellow over there,
and he points down to Snaggletooth.
Looks like that fellow over there's got a crow. Everyone's just walking around with all sorts of animals with them nowadays. I guess that's good.
And she's like, on one hand, irritated, and on the other hand, he's still jovial and not concerned about the world. So there's that. Good on him. We heard when we were talking to Davy and Malus that there was something about some markings that you all had.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm surprised. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they found something. Well, Aldwin and his folks, they were digging it out. They were digging out, just checking it out, trying to see what they could salvage from the various finds, the tunnels and such. And they, apparently, the rumbling opened up a whole separate section of the mines themselves. Some section they hadn't even been mining. They thought it was, tapped out or some such. And they found some old big rock in there. Got all sorts of weird scribblings on it. No one knows what it all has to say, but it's pretty strange to look at. They're talking about maybe carving it out, bringing it out, making it nice little decorative, a decorative central display area here in Tar Hollow. Well, maybe it's a conversation starter, that sort of thing. Don't you all got something like that down in Isvik? Come to think of it.
We do in Isvik, and actually we may be able to help you try to figure out what it means, and then you can decide if it's something that you want to put front and center in town, as it were.
Oh, you know how to read that such, the old tongue they call.
Wee bit, perhaps.
Well, you should go have a chat with old Aldwin. I'm sure he would love to have a hand.
We have friends of ours that are headed up there. I'm sure they'll take care of that conversation. I wanted to one other thing that we came across in the wood, and she is hesitating a little bit because he already didn't believe about the big fish, which wasn't the thing that was to be not believed. And she's like, so in our travels. Yesterday, we came across some shambling undead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that
yes?
Is that like something from the old tongue? Shambling undead. Shambling undead.
So you
hey,
know.
Nauna, how's this sound? Shambling undead. And she's like, "Oh, stop Stop harassing her. She's trying to tell you a story.
And she's like bringing over to Snaggletooth and setting this big haunch of pork down on the plate in front of you. No vegetables whatsoever. And there's like a little bowl of gristle right next to it that she sets right off to the side. And you can see Oswald like hops off and goes up to the edge of it. And it's just now perched on top of the edge of the bowl.
There you go, love. Bon appetite.
You're real kind. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And well, there you go. Oswald, hope you like it. Don't eat too fast.
And you see he's just like poking like crazy at this gristle.
Go away.
Crunch. Just kind of looks at you.
It's not very kindly to bring your own food into another tavern.
Oh, that's just my trade. I don't have a whole lot on me. I'm a farmer from down ways. Didn't mean to be rude. You know what? I don't know if I got enough to share with everybody, but
I'm just teasing you, love. I'm just teasing you. You like the vegetables?
Oh yeah. I mean, I care for this too. You know, that's normally what I grow. But what do you care for? Are you a radish lady? Maybe you're more of a fruit. You like an apple? Maybe. I'll see what I got.
I do like an apple. We don't get many apples up this way, of course, but I like a good turnip. Got any turnips in that pack of yours?
Why, it just so happens I do, and in fact, I have one leftover zucchini pie even. Warning, it's spicy.
A zucchini pie?
Give it a try.
Pies normally have got fruit in them.
Yeah. It's just something I was experimenting with, but this is for you. On account of you being so kind to Oswald.
Okay, so you're giving me a Okay, well, I guess I'm taking the zucchini pie now.
Yeah, I got a turnip too if you want.
She looks over her shoulder at the guy at the bar, and he's all right. And then she takes the turnip, like, well,
I'm sure we can make. Yeah, this probably works out. Yeah, sure. Well, thank you. When I get my break, I'll dig in, see what this is about. Zucchini pie.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, you just made my dad. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. All right. And you could see like over there, like the crow's just kind of like throwing like chunks of meat up into the air, like catching it and just having a little fun.
Oh, he was hungry.
Yeah. He's the best lookout you could ever ask for.
Well, I'm sure he is. And he looks up.
Oh! And he like spits a little bit out and then like grabs it before it hits the ground. And then we'll cut from there and we'll see like trudging up the hill. And we see approaching what looks like a flattened, opened area. You can definitely tell it was like hewn down. And there are a series of buildings kind of flanking either side of the giant opening to this mine area. And you can see there's a handful of workers, there's tools, there's carts, all sorts of things everywhere. And there's a couple of people lingering, but you're directed to like the main office, right? And so the two of you will go inside, and you can see like there are maps on the walls, but there are maps clearly of tunnels. So you can see like tunnel routes and such here and there, and like different mines are labeled. This like over here and over there, you can see like a big X through one of them, presumably the one that collapsed. And then you can see behind a desk with another map like unfurled on that desk, there is a heavy-set man. You would probably peg him. He's got to be 60s maybe. Kind of balding head. He's got tufts of hair on his above his ears. He's got like mutton chops that connect to a mustache, but like no hair on his chin. And he's got a pipe in his hand that he's like constantly keeps getting hits from, and he's like furrowing his brow and trying to like make sense of what he's looking at. And every now and then you just see a little tuft of smoke come out. But as you walk in, he looks up and he sees you.
Oh, hello there. What can I do for you?
Hi, Oswald. It's good to see you again. You haven't broken too many more pickaxes since I was last here. And Kick will go in for
Oswald.
Oh, is that not Oswald?
Aldwin, you mean?
I'm sorry, Oswald sounds like the name of a crow. Oh,
my bad.
name's Oswald.
I wrote my notes wrong. That would be Aldwin. And Kick will go in for like a handshake.
Oh, who is that?
And he leans close.
Oh, is that kick tomorrow? Oh, put it there.
He reaches out his hand. He's got this, like, in his hand is like stone. It's like calloused, like
I
decades
imagine
of callus, right?
Very similar. Different
You
calluses.
can just see sparks coming out from the hardness of your skins, right?
And he's like, what brings you down here? I don't recall us calling you down for anything. I don't think we've got no shipments ready for you. We've suffered a bit of a problem, to be honest with you.
We heard
So
about
we've not
it.
been late.
We're here for.
Oh, did you?
We're here for a couple of warnings that are going to sound like I've been in the drink too much, but I'm not a fan of tales. I prefer to hit straight with the stories.
Of course, you're straight. Sure. Who's this fella right here with the fancy hat?
Oh, this is little Lloyd. He comes from the Candlemakers over in Iwan, and he's a nice little apprentice. So an extra pair of hands here and there doesn't work.
Hello.
He reaches out his hand to shake your hand. And it is enormous. And he like just engulfs your hand in his. And he just like shakes it. Whenever he has the pipe in his mouth is closed. Whenever the pipe's out of his mouth is open. Like it's constantly open. He's like breathing heavily through it.
He's like, pleasure to meet you there, little lord. My name's Aldwin. Aldwin Matthews. You can call me Aldy. That's what everyone does. You got a nice hat there. It's quite fetching.
Thanks, you got a fancy for it. I can get you one.
Can you now? Who made that for you? Did you make it yourself?
No, there's a nice hat maker in town. He's weak.
You're a hat maker. Oh, this thing's getting real big. Big for its britches if it's got enough people there that want hats. That there's a milliner, they say, that just focuses on hats. It's not even like a tailor making this and that. They just focus on hats. That's specialty.
I'll make sure to bring you one up next time. No need to be jealous.
I don't really like the red, though.
Oh.
Red's kind of like blood or something. It feels like I bang my head.
You
I
feel
bang my head quite a bit.
Black, green.
Oh, no, I think green would be
Green one?
fetching. Bring out the green in my eyes.
They are charming eyes after all.
Oh, stop it, yo, Sophie. I could be a grandfather.
I
might be.
You could be. Who knows who my parents are?
I did.
Now, listen close.
Oh, yes,
Aldwin,
business.
You got to send a couple of men out. A couple of your, maybe anybody who's good with sword. You got a giant snake dead on the side of the road over there. And it looks like we took a I know. I said I'd sound like I was on the drink, but you can smell my breath. I ain't had anything but water.
You definitely don't smell drunk.
So
you smell like something.
Yeah, that's the snake. I went in and I had to look at it. And we were concerned because we kept seeing creatures getting attacked on the road between. And we saw a bunch of carrions flying around. So we went to follow them and see what's happening. And Kit will describe the scene to him and describe the location and tell him that we weren't able to detect tracks. And we unfortunately suspect there might be something flying around that I don't like the thought of something that big coming out of a giant snake and then might be flying around. It's like all the old tales come to life. It's the worst thing.
And like the whole story, as we see like the montage of you tell the story, he's like constantly trying to ask a question.
Yeah.
And then like you just keep going and going.
Yeah.
Okay. We just got to roll. I've got to ask. I've got a list of questions.
Oh,
no.
I'm about to, unfortunately, this is the most believable part.
Okay. One thing at a time.
First
of all, swords? People good with swords? What do you think we all around here? We don't
all right, someone with the pickaxe, they can swing it a bit harder.
We've got plenty of those folk, but the decent is already dead, so what's the problem?
To take a look
We've
at it.
got enough on our hands right now.
But that's a lot of dead meat you're leaving out there for something else to come. It's an attraction for other creatures.
You said the birds are moving around and all. We don't want nothing.
All right. If you think it is fine there, my warning is that, and that would help you to believe some of the rest of the things I'm about to say.
I believe you. I believe you found it there. You're not one to tell tall tales, as we said. I understand
no
it.
Point.
Course, but I just don't know.
Lollygaggers.
I've got enough on my plate right now. I don't
enjoy the tales.
What?
So the reason
okay.
we're in this district is because Auntie Eldrin, we had an issue that we needed her. We also had hit by the shaking of the lands when ours split in half and a bunch of weird shit happened. Your ghost meadow
You went and
trees. Sorry.
You saw Eldrin?
We saw Eldrin. Eldrin's got okay, get this. I know Eldrin and you had a bit of a thing way back in the day. She didn't mention you.
No, I want nothing to do with her.
I understand.
Not at all.
She's got... All right, here's the bit that I really think you're not going to like. She's got a little army of gray, long-skinned folks that are dead, walking around. Scary like. And we heard the quake.
Are you sure you didn't bang your head?
I did, but not like that. The ceiling in her house is quite low.
Lloyd said, is she? What's she going on about?
This is the most words I've ever heard her say, but I've seen it myself.
That's true. She's not one for words, that's for sure.
But I think the details are important here, and I will not speak for a week after this. It's too much talking for me.
I understand, but okay, so you're saying there's a giant snake and big animals getting attacked, and now Eldrin, of all folk, has a tiny army of grey-skinned folk with long limbs and such.
They wear armor from, like, an age is gone.
Armor?
They were, I don't know, once human-like, I guess, but their arms are too long to be human. It's a weird sight.
What maker's name are you talking about? This sounds
preposterous. I agree.
It does. It does.
The reason I bring it up is because you had some weird knocking in your mine, and those guys were coming up from the underground. They dug themselves out of the ground.
Well, that's true. We did have knocking. That's true.
And you had all your bodies because it was the festival that day. And there was an extra body in the mine, maybe, making some noise.
You know a lot about what happened here.
We found a couple of...
What happened here a day ago? You don't know nothing about what happened here last night or this morning, though.
What happened here this morning, then?
Well, if you just let me get a word in edgewise, maybe I'll tell you.
If you speak louder, you maybe got a word in.
As I was going to say... That's true. Everything he said is true. We heard a knocking. We did the head count. No one was missing. So we assumed it was just strangeness that comes from the mine collapsing. As petty and tragic as it was, it's going to set us back months, of course. But no loss of life, no injuries, nothing like that. But yesterday, we started unearthing. We started digging stuff out. And lo and behold, no more knocking. Not there at all, not a single thing. And no folk coming up out of the mines, long-limbed and grey with ancient armour. No snakes, nothing like that.
No, the snake is on your doorstep. You definitely have that one. That one is yours.
You put a snake on my doorstep? I don't like snakes. What you putting a snake on my doorstep for?
I figuratively speaking, I mean, it's just out of town. It's pretty close by.
Oh, okay, well. We found something, though. We found some fancy rock. Kind of like the ones you've got up north there. Fancy rock, all sorts of scribbles on it. Now one knows what it means.
The person who may not be named did give us a hand in that, and Kick will pull out the, parchment. I'm not saying her name.
You can't trust her. Lord, I went to her once.
Us an alphabet.
When I was a 30-year-old man.
Read that script.
I had a full head of hair.
Here we go again.
Head of hair.
Don't believe him, Lloyd.
Head of hair. We spent 1 weekend together. I come back, all my hair falls out. And you're going to trust the thing that this woman has to say?
He's been talking about this, I swear.
Do you know why I grow this? Do you know why I have this?
It's the only hair on his head.
I've got scars underneath it. Nothing grows up here anymore.
Is this what pants are like?
1 weekend with that. What's that?
Is this what pants are like?
What parents are like?
I wouldn't know. Can't help you that one, Lloyd. Now.
I ain't got no children myself, be honest. I'm a lifelong bachelor. Thank you. No one ever tore this down.
I'll lean over to Lloyd and do the fake whisper where I'm actually saying something out loud that he knows of. Who knows if him and Aldwin actually had anything or not, you know.
I could hear you. I'm like 3 feet from your face.
I didn't say anything to you. Now, we do have, and she'll show him the alphabet of the old speech to like the current speech. We got a way of reading it. You can check it out before you move it anywhere.
Okay. Hang on. Oh my goodness gracious. There was more. I was going to tell you.
All right, I'm
I
waiting.
can take you to see the stone. If you want to see the stone, I can show you the stone, and you can try to use your little alphabet thing, and you can see what it says.
I will sit
but we
here.
got to be careful.
Okay.
We got to be careful. 4 of my miners are missing.
4 of your miners. Your miners are
Yes.
well trained.
They are very well trained, because I trained them. They were cleaning up. We were trying to figure out what was salvageable, and they went missing last night. We did our head count end of day, as we always do, and 4 folks missing, never came back. We've been looking all night and all morning. Why do you think I'm so ragged? And he does look pretty ragged. What do you think I got all these things scrolled about? We're trying to find them.
Did they move in pairs, or were they taken out one at a time, you think?
Of course they moved in pairs.
all
They're
right.
not. Come on now.
All right.
No one moves about a tunnel by themselves. What's wrong with you? Ugh.
That's fair. I ain't ever worked a day in the mine, you know that. So I don't know all the processes.
No.
I
Now,
just
when you
deal
dig
with the
coal
metal.
with someone. Anyhow. Okay.
Now,
Well, you've put a lot on my plate here. And
I
I already had plenty of things atop it. What do you want from me?
well, the writing may be related, and she'll like look at him sideways, close her eyes again. It may be related to the Unmaker.
Oh, pish posh.
I know.
Now,
I know.
don't go saying that around here. Don't put that bad luck on all of us. No.
okay.
We've got it bad enough as it is.
All right.
Keep that to yourself.
I'll keep it to myself.
And you, he points at Lloyd, I'm holding you personally responsible. Don't go letting her talk about that around here. We've got it bad enough as it is. You ever been down in the tunnel there, Lloyd? You ever been down beneath the earth?
Haven't been myself.
It's a very dangerous thing.
I
One small misstep, the whole mountain comes down on you. If you're lucky. If you're unlucky, the mountain traps you down there in the dark, and you just die a slow, painful, empty death, wondering if anyone's going to come to get you. And then no one does. So, I don't know where I was going with it. I just thought I'd scare you a bit. That's all.
he's quite young. To learn this stuff is good.
Well, all right. Like I said, if you want to see the stone, I can take you to see the stone. But you gotta stay, no poking around, no wandering here. Everything's dangerous down there. Everything. That stuff's falling this way and that. We got sinkholes, we got cave-ins. Nothing's reinforced. I can't promise nothing.
That's fair. Now, I feel like I did drop a lot on you, so I've got here. And she'll unhook her hip lantern and give it to him and go, a present for you for free for all the trouble I've just brought you to be aware of. Yeah, put it on your belt.
Fun craftsmanship.
It is.
Now, what to do with it?
Okay. It goes on the little hook there.
It's like looking over at Lloyd, trying to see
It's
what
the
he did
little
with
hook
his.
over there. You see that? It goes there. And then you get your hands free from mining.
I can't see it.
It's
My
here. Let
belly's
me
in the
do this.
way.
And she'll like get in and get it on for him.
Okay. You like have to like
Yeah.
like you have to like lift his gun up a little bit and then like hook it underneath.
Aye, there you go. There you go. Now you can have a light and your hands free.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll send a few folk to check out the snake of this thingy. I don't know what to do with it, but I'll send folk up there. And in the meantime, if you want to come see the stone, I'll take you to see the stone.
I would.
Is that what you want?
There's 2 more of us. They're coming.
They're in the tavern. They're not coming that quickly. Let's just go and do this, Lloyd, since we're,
I mean, they might be outside for how much you've been talking.
Okay, Lloyd, if you want to go check for them, I can put some money on the fact that they're still in the tavern, though.
In the tavern, had the two of you wanted to do anything else or talk about anything else over the course of your drinks and your lunch and your foods?
Snaggletooth?
Oh, we met that trader fella up on the way. He said you heard some weird knock. Everything been okay since then, though?
Oh, no, not at all, love. It's been It's been a trying couple of days. First of all, supposed to be, a rejuvenating thing, but no. Apparently, last night a few folks, we're missing 4 of our own. Let's just put it that way, love. And I might not be personal friends with any of them, but they come in here, they eat their foods, they drink their drinks, and they have a friendly time. Everyone here in the world, we all know each other one way or another. So everyone's friendly, if not friends. So it's got us a little on edge.
Oh.
It's not the first time people have gone missing in the mines, of course, and we've had good news and we found them, and we've had bad news and we didn't find some. So everyone's a little on edge.
Well, I sure do sympathize. Just because someone ain't blood don't mean they're not family, especially when you're all tight like this.
Caw. That's very true. That's a very nice thing to say there, Mr. Snaggletooth, you said?
Yes, that's true, Miss Nona. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I'm supposed to meet up with some friends over there. Going to go talk to Mr. Aldrin, I think. But, if y'all still got people searching, well, I don't know nothing about the mines. But if there's anything that can be done to help, you just, say something.
Well, I'm sure if you want to lend a hand, you talk to Mr. Matthews. I'm sure he'll be able to put you to work somehow.
Righty. Looking up.
And
what about you, Morgan?
Morgan's refilled.
Morgan is... Now, I hear you're not believing me too much, and she's definitely taking some
Okay.
drinks as she goes. I hear you're not up for believing me, but I will say that there are, in fact, undead folks that are wandering about.
Sure there are. Uh-huh.
You know what? Forewarned is forearmed, but if you're not going to believe me, then...
They've got
You know
4
what?
arms, do they?
And her jovial disposition is being tested a bit by this.
Okay.
You know what? I'm just trying to warn you, and you're just not believing.
It's
you know
not
what?
that I don't believe you. It's just that you're telling me tall, fanciful tales, and you expected me to take your word for it. I met you an hour ago. I barely know you. You smell like fish, and you've been drinking half of my cask already. That's supposed to last me until tomorrow.
Well, well, just saying, keep your eyes peeled, as it were. That's all I'm trying to say. And she kind of lets out a belch.
Okay.
Snaggle,
Mm-hmm.
you want to try to meet up with the other 2?
Sounds like a plan. I made sure to, Snaggletooth made sure to have, saved a portion of the pork aside. Probably should get at least a little something solid on your stomach.
Aye, you're always looking out for me.
Oh, of course. I mean, I don't have any other friends that know how to fish bridges, so I gotta keep you on a tight leash.
And she turns back to the bartender. You hear that? I fished a bridge earlier.
She
Fixed
did.
it right up.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. You
I love
fished
that
a
that's
bridge,
what you
called
close it with.
And then, he gives you a look, Snaggletooth, like, you're responsible for her right now.
Okay. Take her keys. Don't let her drive. You know how it is.
Okay.
Morgan
I can't wait
looks
for
for-
the telephone game of this story to be retranslated later.
Right.
She said she fisted a bridge. I don't even know what that means. Did she punch it? She's just punching bridges? Who does that?
Okay, and so then we'll say the 2 of you make it outside, Oswald back on your shoulder, and then we see Lloyd coming down the hill with his bright red hat. And so, yeah, you guys are all reunited if you like to be.
Well, I tried to warn them, but they really don't seem to believe anything I had to say about the fish and the shamblers and all the rest of it. They're just not interested.
Well, see, that's
Goldie was
just
struggling
where-
to believe as well.
Hmm.
But we got permission to check out the rock.
Ooh.
And we could help look for the... Snaggletooth was telling me there's some missing miners.
I but that might be a minor job. Unless they ask for help, I wouldn't want to step in on their business.
I don't know. Sounds like a pretty big job to me.
You know your way around a mine, Snaggletooth?
No, not at all. I was just making a really dumb joke.
Okay. I was ignoring your dumb joke.
That's fair.
You made one too. We heard it. We ignored it.
I heard it too. Okay. So we'll say then, are you going to take him up on his offer? All day on his offer to show you the stone?
Absolutely.
So we'll see you guys going inside, get little hats on, you get your belt lanterns out. It's very dark. He's leading you along the way. He's telling you about what happened and this person that. You're going to pass by a few others. He checks in with some other folks who are coming back from like whatever searching that they were doing. And definitely looks like no joy. They haven't been able to find anyone. And then like he gets to the end of this one tunnel, and you kind of have to climb down this ladder that they have affixed into the to the floor. And you can tell that there's like makeshift support beams, but it certainly doesn't look particularly sturdy. And there you see at the bottom of this pit in the middle of the mountain, far away from any light, other than what you've brought, is stone. It is like black and almost purple, actually, as you hold the light up to it. And you can see like carved into it here and there are these different symbols and sigils and such. So one of you can make a roll, and you can take as a +1 to this your alphabet to try to properly translate what this says.
I would like to help Lloyd because I feel like he's got the best options for rolling for this.
Okay.
Okay, if I were to do it, I would use my curious and point out peculiarities.
Okay. That's 2.
Yeah, those 2.
And don't forget, by the way, that you always can burn a tag to get +3 power, but it just means you kind of scratch it out for a little bit. And then later, when it makes sense for you to recover it, maybe during like a camp or some other situation, you can regain it. But like you always have that ability, like to, if you really want to make sure you pass something, that you can always do that. It just means that you're temporarily without that tag for a little while.
Can I throw Mountaineer on this one just because of the location we're in right now and we're reading it off of a rock?
Yeah. I think that makes perfect sense. So you can get a +1 from Kick, adding her knowledge of
rocks,
of mountains, maybe something about the stone itself. That might kind of catch your attention.
Can I throw cheer them on?
Okay, sure.
Now we're going to dogpile.
You've got
okay,
this.
You got it.
You've got it. You're a smart one. I've got faith in you.
Trying to add resourceful. Lloyd was the one that had some stuff for writing and whatnot, right?
Yeah,
maybe I know Morgan has a book too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So the idea was like it might be difficult to like be constantly like roaming around trying to do stuff, but maybe if we took some paper and kind of do things where you kind of like sketch it, so you could kind of have like blocks of stuff to look at instead of like just looking at the stone. You might even catch something doing a rubbing that you might not get just staring at it. Just
sure.
To toss in resourceful.
Nice.
Okay. I like that. All right, so it sounds like each one of them has contributed a tag, so that's +3 for all of that, Lloyd. Don't forget you have a +1 for the alphabet itself as an item that you have. I might suggest, if you would like, to tap into a weakness, maybe your rushed weakness. Maybe you do this a little hastily or quickly or something like that, whether you're unnerved about being within a mine that has recently collapsed.
Is rush just a -1?
It would be a -1, but it allows you to tick out an experience box on your artisan theme, and that's how you eventually improve.
Okay, so I'll get a total power of 5 on the roll then with all those calculators.
Sounds like.
All right,
nice.
Give it a rip, man.
Got a 9.
Okay, so not a great roll, and you're kind of rushing, and like people are talking. You're hearing weird sounds. Like there's all sorts of sounds, like distant sounds. It's like a like something crumbling in the distance or like a dripping. Maybe it's a little unnerving. You're a Candlemaker, maybe this isn't something that you're horribly familiar with. Kick, you're probably a little bit more accustomed to stuff like this. You said you didn't really work in the mines, but you're from the mountains, so maybe you've been in a cave or two. Snaggletooth, we know that you actually had some history in the sea caves, I think. I think you had like a sea caves situation once. So, but Lloyd, maybe this is just sort of unnerving you a little slightly. The whole time, like, you guys are hearing a story, Aldwin's telling you about what happened. And Lloyd, when all's said and done, and you managed to take that rubbing that Snaggletooth was able to help you with, you realize, like, you think you have it translated. And I'll tell you the consequence in a second, because you did roll in 9. You start reading it, and you realize it has a familiar cadence as you start. And once you realize it has a cadence that sounds familiar to what you've already heard before, it becomes a little bit easier for you to translate. And it sounds very much like what the Longstone in Isfig and what Auntie Eldrin like translated on the seared markings on the whale. Except it's a little bit different. It says, all veins run dry, all peaks give way, the earth's deep bones are broken. And right as like you maybe mutter the word broken out loud, all of you suddenly hear tick, 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 a knocking coming from somewhere around you, like in the walls themselves. And that's where we're going to go ahead and we're going to stop right there for tonight. And we will pick up on that next time, as surrounding all of you where this old freaking stone is, you're hearing weird knockings in the wall.
Great.
And then this is it.
Yep.
That's
No.
good.
All right.
Oh, no.
It's going to be fine.
We do not want to be
Okay.
here.
But we very
talking
much
about?
want to be here.
Aldwin has an exclamation point over his head. It's right there.
His shiny head illuminated by the yellow
Shiny.
exclamation mark over it.
He comes up to the edge of the mine. He's like, okay, I'm taking you inside.
Yeah,
and he picks
yeah,
up his
yeah.
mining hat, except it's just a giant exclamation point. It's like, all right, let's go.
Love
All
it.
right. That is it for us.
good.
Let's go ahead and do a couple quick plugs, and then we will get on out of here. Let's start off by talking about our dear friend Steven, who's been making a game called Huckleberry. You can find out more information on huckleberryrpg.com or over on DriveThruRPG. This is coming to Backer Kit in October, very soon, just around the corner. You can actually go to the Backer Kit page right now if you wanted to do an early back. But it is a action cinematic horror. We played it on the channel. We're going to be playing it again on the channel in a couple weeks as well, while the campaign's going on. And you should take a look. It's awesome. As for streaming tomorrow, our schedule, we're doing Conan, but we're kind of changing our Conan schedule up slightly. It's still coming out, but things are kind of a little quirky as we're working out some technical kinks. But Saturday we'll be back with more Call of Cthulhu. Monday, not sure what we're doing yet, actually, as there's a little poll going on in our Discord. As my game, we've been playing my game on Monday, my We're in Danger game, which is like a little one-shot, silly, fun, kill everybody kind of game. Tuesday, normally we would be doing Hardwired Island, but Kipser told us all to F off and decided to take the week
I'm
off.
gonna disappear in the woods for a little bit. Literally,
Yeah,
like
she's gonna go smoke some peyote or something. Yeah.
Don't go in
But
some
normally it would
mines
be
while
hard
you're gone.
Oh, well, I was going to say I don't plan it, but there is caving in the area I'm going to, so maybe.
But all right, so like our normal schedules are going to be a little quirky for the next week, but we'll be back at it soon enough. But that's it for us. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks for playing, and we'll see you all later.
Also, thank you, Raiders from
What I-
Lost Nights.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, awesome!
Thanks,
Thank you so much for the
Raiders.
raid. You could have said something earlier.
We were doing things and stuff.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that raid. Make sure you go ahead and check out that channel, and we'll see y'all later. Have a good rest of your night. Bye bye.
Yeah, anyway,
See ya.